Right, what we're going to do here is going to actually use the double angle theorems to work stuff out. So one of these, okay, here is just a summation of the rules we discussed last time, and one of these we're going to use to work out this particular question here. So it's telling us that sine alpha is 5/13, find sine of 2 alpha, okay, without a calculator, right? So if we're looking at this, we're going to be using this one here because it's got 2 theta equals sine of 2 theta equals 2 times sine theta times cos theta, right? Now, so to find sine of 2 alpha, we need to do 2 times sine of alpha times cos of alpha, right? Okay, that's what we need to do. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is that the angle phi, let me do it in red so it's consistent. The angle is between pi and pi over 2. Okay, there's an important clue. That's going to help as well. The angle is, that should have been part of the question. I just forgot to include it. Right. So we're going to do sine of 2 alpha. To work that out, we're going to just use this particular one, saying the same as doing 2 times sine alpha times cos alpha. Well, we know that already, so we're going to do 2 times 5/13. But we've got to try and work out what this is, cos alpha. But we can work that out because they tell us what sine alpha is, right? And they tell us, well, I've just told you what this is, right? And it boils down to the unit circle. We're gonna use that again to work out what cos alpha is. Okay, so let's draw our unit circle. All silly turtles growl. Okay, so this is pi over 2. This is pi. So saying it's between pi and pi over 2. So somewhere over here. So sine's the only one that's positive, so cosine is going to be a negative number. So whatever we have here, we're going to have a negative number, right? Now, if you're not sure what this next bit is, look back at the clip. But what we're going to do is we're going to use our working out triangle to try and work out what cosine alpha is. Now, remember to write SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Okay, and if this is our angle, this is the opposite, adjacent, and the hypotenuse, right? Okay, so we've got sine alpha, so let's start with that. Sine alpha is opposite over adjacent, and they're telling us that's 5/3. So that means the opposite must be 5, and opposite over hypotenuse, 5/13. So they're telling us the opposite's 5, and the hypotenuse is 13. And doing a bit of Pythagoras, okay, 13 squared, take away 5 squared, square rooted, we get the number 12. So the adjacent is 12. Right, now let's work out cosine. Cosine of the angle in this particular one is adjacent, which is 12, over the hypotenuse, which is 13, right? So 12/13. But remember, sine is the only one that is positive here, so if you want to do cosine of the angle alpha, it needs to be a negative, so we need to stick a negative in that. So cos alpha has got to be negative 12/4. So going back to this, we're going to do 2 times 5/13, which is sine alpha, times minus 12/13. Okay, so it's a 2 times 5 times minus 12. We're just multiplying a bunch of fractions and a whole number together. 2 times 5 is 10. Times minus 12 is minus 120, and over 13 times 13 is 169. There you go, that is sine 2 alpha, that's what it's got to be. Okay, job done. Right, next one. Right, next question. Number 2. Right, let me see, what was the question I had? Right, cos 2 theta equals 3/4. And find cos theta and sine theta separately, and the angle theta is less than pi over 2, and greater than 0. Well, that should be a less than sign. Alright, so it's telling us it's an acute angle, basically. Right. Now let's just draw our unit circle. Okay, and all tools crawl. Right, okay, so it's between 0 and pi over 2, so that means it's here, so that means whatever we work out, they're got to be positive, right? Remember, they're all positive here, so sine, cos, and tan are positive here. So whatever it is, they're going to be positive numbers. Now, if you look at this, and tells us cos 2 theta equals 3/4. Now, if we go back up, we need to decide which one of the rules here that we're going to use, right? We've got an option of 3. Now, the thing is, though, this involves both sine and cos, so I'm not going to use that one now because that'd be impossible. I've got 2 unknowns that side. But I know this, and I can work this one out, right? So let's use this one first of all, right? Let's use that. So cos 2 theta equals 2 cos squared theta minus 1. Right, now we need to, well, we've got a bit of an equation because it tells us that cos 2 theta equals 3/4, right? We're effectively working backwards here. We're not going to do a working out triangle or anything like that. We're kind of, it's like we've been told the answer and we're working backwards to work out what cos 2 theta is. Well, okay, cos theta is. So cos 2 theta is 3/4. So this I can replace with 3/4. So I have a 2 cos squared theta take away 1. Now, I need to, this is basically an equation, I need to just work it out. So, first things first, let's get rid of the minus 1 by adding it to this side. So I'm going to have 3/4 add 1, and I will have 2 cos squared theta. Okay, so 3/4 add 1 is going to be 7/4. Just the word warning, you know, you've really got to be good on fractions. If you need explaining as to why that's 7/4, then you really need to work on your fractions. Fractions are a big part at standard level, and if you're not very good with them, you're entering a world of pain. So just make sure you practice on your fraction skills, okay? I don't want to patronize people, but it's just some people don't get them. Right, so 7/4 is 2 cos squared theta. Right, I need to get rid of the 2. So I'm going to have to, it's multiplying that, so I'm going to have to halve that. So I will halve it and I'll get 7/8 is cos squared theta. Right, this is the same, remember that is the same as cos theta all squared. So the last thing I need to do to work out cos theta is to square root this. So I will have root 7 over root 8. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this. I know you can do a bit of word surds with it and so on, because root 8 is 2 root 2 and so on and so forth, but I'm just going to leave it like that, okay? So that's cos theta, and we know it's positive, so there's cos theta. Now all that's left is to work out sine theta. Now you could go away and make a right angled triangle, and you know, you've got your adjacent and your hypotenuse, and you can work out the, you know, sine by the right angled triangle. You could do that, or you could use one of the other identities. Remember the other one, cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1, right? You've got cos squared theta, that's 7/8. Actually, you know what? Let's just use that. Remember the identity cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. Let's just use that, right? If you look back a step from this, we actually know what cos squared theta is. It's 7/8. So I can replace that with 7/8 plus sine squared theta equals 1. So I can get rid of that 7/8 by subtracting it. So I'm going to do 1 take away 7/8. Okay, that's 1/8. Okay, and then doing sine squared theta. And remember, that's the same as doing something squared. So square root it. So you have sine theta equals 1 over root 8. Okay, so there's sine theta. There's one way of doing it. Just to kind of help you out again, we could have actually done it using going back to the very beginning. So going back to the very beginning, cos 2 theta equals 1 take away 2 sine squared theta. That's using the, if we go back up to the top, sorry, it's using the last one here instead. Okay, going back to the very beginning. Now cos 2 theta is 3/4, remember. So if we go down, I can replace this side with 3/4 equals 1 take away 2 sine squared theta. Now, see, I hate these minuses in front of what I'm trying to work out, so I would normally add it to that side and take that away, but kids nowadays don't seem to get that, so I'm just going to take that one away. So I'm going to do 3/4, take away 1, again minus 2 sine squared theta. Okay, and if you have 3/4 and you take away 1, you're left with minus 1/4, minus 2 sine squared theta. Okay, divide both sides by minus 2, get rid of that. So that's a minus 1/4 divided by minus 2 gives us 1/8. 1/8, remember? Okay, that's sine squared theta, and then square root, got 1√8 is sine theta. And we know it's positive because of where the angle is, so there we go. We worked out sine theta and cos theta, and you could go ahead and work out tan theta if you wanted to, and we've done it all without a calculator. How about that? Job done.